Warning. The language used on The Real Rush may be offensive to some viewers. Don't say I didn't fucking warn you.
Say, man, you got a joint? You do? Cut! And that's just what I be trying to fucking lay on people's minds, man, is that, like, the Mogwai was supposed to represent, like, the youth's minds and shit, right? Before it gets corrupted and shit and becomes that of a gremlin. So there's certain basic rules that you're not supposed to do, like the fucking keeping them away from sunlight and not getting them wet and then not feeding them at the midnight and shit. Like, those are supposed to symbolize like certain things in real life not to do to like the youth, to make them all fucked up when they all grown up and shit, man. You feel me? You feel me? You feel me? Yeah, son. I be trying to tell these motherfuckers, man. They don't want to listen. They don't want to listen. They don't want to listen. Maybe y'all listen, though. We're rapping here for, what, 8 hours? It's been, 20 minutes. But you know what, though? It's episode 60. Bang your head to the opening riff. Woo. Alright, man. What's happening, y'all? It's your boy J-Dub, and welcome to episode 60. 60 of The Real Rush right here on YouTube. I still didn't take the time to look up what the hell the word is. A clump of 10 or something. So we'll just say this is another milestone like we always do. So that's 60 episodes of The Real Rush on YouTube. Booyah! We're going to keep it rolling. I want to go ahead and just roll things off with tonight's Real Rush ticket, because we got a lot of big shit on this episode's Real Rush ticket. But not only are we dealing with just the 4 new releases of this weekend, but I actually want to kick things off with some shit that doesn't even officially drop for another couple days, but your boy, along with a couple other thousands of other peeps, hopefully, if y'all were so lucky to know about the early access screenings, got a chance to view over this weekend. And we're going to kick off this episode's Real Rush ticket, get down to brass tacks with my review of Knives Out, ladies and gents. Woo! And this has been hotly anticipated for quite a minute, y'all. As a matter of fact, I remember seeing trailers for this right around the time that trailers started rolling out for Ready or Not. And I remember almost getting the two mixed up at one point. But anywho, 2 completely different movies, yet I digress. Knives Out, my review for this, for you, goes a little something like this. Hit it! So Knives Out. New mystery whodunit, directed by Rian Johnson. Good man who brought us such awesomeness as Looper and Star Wars The Last Jedi. And yes, I am on the side of saying that Star Wars The Last Jedi is on some awesomeness shit. Fight me, but on a different day, not on this episode, because this episode is all about Knives Out. Knives Out. Star-studded cast, y'all. You have Christopher Plummer, you got Daniel Craig, Chris Evans, Ana de Armas, Jaden Martell, Don Johnson, Michael Shannon, Jamie Lee Curtis, Catherine Langford, Lakeith Stanfield, whole slew of people. I'm sure I'm missing like a person here and there. And this all basically is about the tale of famed mystery novel writer Harlan Thrombey, played by Christopher Plummer, who celebrates his 85th birthday, surrounded by family and friends, but found very next morning after quite the party, found the next morning dead in a apparent suicide. Maybe, maybe not. But something definitely seems afoot here. Detectives are brought in to question the family. They are led by lead detective Benoit Blanc, played by Daniel Craig. Seems to be quite sharper than most detectives in the area, we shall say. And this is quite the classic, whodunit movie that I'm gonna sound like an old fart in saying this shit, but you don't see whodunits like this anymore. Cause this is a true it's a true whodunit to the point where it's like, all right, well, it does seem like every single one of these motherfuckers might have had a motive, but truly, who is it? But it's got its own twist on it that does give it its own edge, its own 2019-ish to an old school genre of that mystery. And it's not just mystery. It's full of clever wit. It's definitely got some dramatic element, some heartwarming, heart-touching, almost some heartbreaking moments, I guess you could say. It's just well-balanced overall in pretty much all genres, minus that of country western and kung fu. Those are the only two that don't have any stake in this. But all the characters, you got not necessarily yes, actually yes. I wouldn't say necessarily developed characters, but they all have their details, there's certain niches about them and that adds to another thing that I loved about Knives Out, is that it's detailed enough to where, yeah, you do need to pay attention or else you might, miss a thing or two, but it's not detailed enough to where it's going to warrant a second viewing, or you'll miss something if you blink, or it doesn't make it too complicated of a mystery thriller to really click with. And that definitely adds to the value. I'm going to go ahead and, if I didn't even I don't even know if I officially kicked off the review for Knives Out with that or not, but I want to go ahead and say that I want to give Knives Out a 9.5, y'all. Out of 10. I'm giving Knives Out right here, right now, a 9.5. And the missing 0.5 is something that I can't even tell you about because I don't want to spoil it for you. How about that shit? But I had a ball watching this movie, and the audience that I was with at the packed house at Regal Gateway last night in Gainesville came out. We braved the rain and shit. We all braved the rain against our window, and we all saw Knives Out, and we had a ball. Yeah. And there's certain things, and another thing that I liked about this movie is that there was a lot of this movie that made everybody laugh, but there are certain things in this movie that are well placed enough that'll make certain groups of people laugh. I couldn't quite. You'll know when you see it. You'll know when you see it, and you'll be able to pinpoint it from certain places in the audience, depending on how packed the house is. But yeah, most certainly one of the most entertaining popcorn movies of the year. Yeah, I would say that. Knives Out, y'all. Don't sleep on this shit when it officially drops. Let's see. If I'm not mistaken, it should drop on Wednesday. Well, it officially drops on Wednesday, this coming Wednesday, which means that there should be Tuesday night showings, seeing that it's a holiday week this week. So, Knives Out, y'all. Like I said, full of clever wit. The screenplay is awesome. The fucking twists are excellent. There are some definite influence. You can definitely see the influences from Clue, the movie from 1985. If anybody's ever seen that, Jim, that's one of my favorite movies from my childhood. Down to, and I don't want to give anything away, but I'm just gonna say stay all the way through the ending credits to make sure that you do get the full-fledged impact of all the influence there. But yeah, the screenplay was awesome. The performances, like I said, everybody's got their little character details, and it could almost be a stage play that it's so just intricately played out like that, but not too complicated to pull off in that manner. But yeah, and the color scheme. If you look at, I'm not sure which poster I have up here, but I think I have the one where they're all standing there. But the color scheme and the palettes and the palette of the movie, the cinematography, just very well done. It's very holiday seasonish, or post-holiday seasonish, or very Novemberish, I should say. So perfect for this time of year. I would even go ahead. I would go as so far as say, ladies and gents, that I would include this as like worthy of saying, hey, let's take the family and go see this. Of course, you know, you want to use your own, you know, the parental, you know, guidance where suggested or whatever. I'm not sure exactly what the rest of the statement says there, but use your own judgment. But I didn't think that there was anything too terribly harsh in it for, I wouldn't say like anybody below the age of 8, so to speak. Of course, you know, I grew up watching shit like this, so I might have a little bit of a different opinion on it, but it's PG-13. The language isn't too over the top. The violence in it isn't too shock and awe-ish. It's not too grotesque with its shock and awes or anything. So yeah, perfect for this time of year, y'all. Knives Out, playing everywhere. Should be playing everywhere, I should say, when it opens. Officially this Wednesday, but go ahead, get it out the way. See you Tuesday night if you can. Tell them your boy J-Dub sent you. They won't know who the fuck you're talking about, but go ahead and tell them your boy J-Dub sent you anyway, and that way that's still getting my weight out there, my name out there, you know? You know, free publicity. But anywho, y'all, like I said, everybody at Regal last night enjoyed the shit out of Knives Out. I think y'all will as well. Knives Out, check it out when it drops this Tuesday, y'all. Next up on this episode's Real Rush Ticket, and yes, I'm my caramel bubbly right here. That is the goodness. Howdy. Howdy. Next up on this episode's Real Rush Ticket, let's go ahead and turn things over to the actual, actually, no. I can't say the actual family movie to come out this weekend, because there were two family movies that I would consider, or two movies I would consider family movies that came out this weekend. But let's go out to Arendelle. Let it go, let it go, can't hold it back anymore. Let it go, let it go. I don't know the fucking words to this song. This ain't no fucking thing we sing along. You know what movie I'm talking about, y'all. Frozen 2. And this is, obviously, the sequel to Frozen, which I didn't see until a couple days ago. And I fell in love with it at first sight. So I knew going into Frozen 2, let's just say that my expectations were set pretty high, as I'm sure most of yours were as well. And this follows Elsa and Anna and Olaf and Kristoff and Sven as they set upon to seek out the mystery of what is called the Enchanted Forest. And this actually may lead to the mystery of the origins behind Queen Elsa's powers. So we have the voice cast returning: Idina Menzel or Adele Nazim, you know, whichever you want to, however you want to bill her this week. Kristen Bell, Josh Gad. We have Sterling K. Brown joining the cast. Jason Ritter, Evan Rachel Wood, Alfred Molina, and I loved me some Frozen 2, y'all. Saw this up at the Airbus, so we saw it up at IMAX on Thursday night, open and showing. Love this movie. Love this movie. Love this movie, y'all. I mean, right off the bat, let's go ahead and say, because a lot of people are going to ask, and you know me, I don't like comparing, but a lot of people are going to ask, well, how is it, versus the original Frozen? It's not too far off from Frozen. A lot of people are saying that it's not as good as the original. I would say it's, like if Frozen, it's the race car, like if they're about almost nose and nose and right here in my mind. With Frozen, the original getting just a little bit of an edge. I wouldn't give it a far fucking lead out over Frozen 2. Is it a little bit darker than the original? Yes, it is. And that is one of the things that I actually appreciate more about this film. But I don't think that it's too dark that it's, enough that it would scare the kids or anything. It's not like Dark Crystal dark or some shit like that, or Pee-wee's Big Adventure Large Marge dark or some shit like that. Yeah, we grew up on some dark shit, y'all. So this is not dark compared to that shit. But yeah, there's a little bit of a darker tone, but it does work in its favor towards its hilarity. If you have a darker sense of humor towards certain things. But other than that, like I said, it's not too far off from the original. If you are a fan of the original Frozen, I don't think that you will be disappointed by this one. By all means, I'm one of the people that are already waiting in line for Frozen 3. Because you know that's going to be already in the planning stages, depending upon the success of this. And I don't see this not succeeding enough to not warrant, closing out the trilogy or whatever, however the franchise, whatever the future of the franchise may be. But yeah, it's warm, it's cute, and into the unknown. That is the song from Frozen 2. And the way that it hits, I'm calling it out. It's going to end up getting Best Song nomination. Golden Globes, Oscars, what have you. I'm not sure which one, but out of one of them, if it gets one at the Golden Globes, it's certainly going to get a nomination at the Oscars. But it's catchy as hell. I would almost say that. Now, granted, I could say this because the soundtrack is so fresh, but I would almost say that this soundtrack at least seemed to me a little bit more catchier than that of the first one. But then again, like I said, I can say this because it's fresh. It hasn't been overplayed yet. Give it another 3 or 4 weeks, and I'm sure none of us are going to want to hear any of these songs ever the fuck again. They're like, Let It Go and Do You Want to Build a Snowman from the first one. I was tired of them within the first 2 weeks of the first one coming out, and I didn't see the first one until 6 days ago. But that didn't stop me from loving the first one. You would think that would put a little bit of a kibosh, what have you, on that, but it didn't. Not at all. In fact, it led me to really look forward to Frozen 2, and it did not fall beneath my expectations. I don't think it will fall short of your expectations either. Definitely round up the posse, round up the family to go see this one, Frozen 2. It is the hottest ticket on all the marquees this weekend, so much that a lot of multiplex theaters I've seen are opening up as many as 4 or 5 screens for this one movie. Now, that much, I do want to tell you this much, because this will probably be the last time that y'all see me on YouTube before Black Friday and shit, right? I obviously have an episode 61, yes, coming out next weekend, but will it be in time before Black Friday? I'm not sure. But I want to let y'all know, especially with movies like this around this time of year, the traffic at the theater is going to be higher than normal. As I always state, you want to get to the theater at least 30 minutes before your showtime, just if you want to see like the previews and shit, or if you want to get something from the concessions. I would actually allow a little bit extra time, and that's not even just for Frozen 2, that's for any movie. Because if you got to go to the concessions and there's a whole bunch of families there to go see Frozen 2, one of the many showings, that'll back your shit up, and you could get there 6:20 for a 7 o'clock showing and still not get to your seat until 7:05 or something, just in time like for like a little bit of the previous shows or something like that. All I know is that this is based on some of the backups that I saw at the theater last night. So just warning you about that. So that way, save you a little bit of stress if you need to take the family, especially the little ones, to go see Frozen 2 this holiday season. But yeah, I digress. It's gonna be an enjoyable experience. Maybe it'll be enjoyable enough to make you forget about all the ruckus that you went through at the concessions and stuff. But it should be. But yeah, Disney, once again, didn't fail yous. Didn't fail yous. So Frozen 2, now playing everywhere. Go enjoy the hell out of it with your loved ones, y'all. And speaking of enjoying things with your loved ones, and just enjoying things in life overall, that brings us to our next movie on this episode's Real Rush Ticket. Also, long awaited, something that I had been eagerly anticipating for the longest time. We caught this as part of our Friday Night Angelica lineup this weekend, y'all. It's part of our dehydrating tear ducts wise Friday Night Angelica lineup, y'all. And I am talking about the new Mr. Rogers biopic, A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. And A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood stars Tom Hanks as the beloved host of the beloved TV show that most of us know about. I don't know about like the youngins these days. I don't know. But the millennials and shit, I don't know. But I would hope, most people have had, a chance to view Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood at some point in your life. Like that's what your heart and soul needs. Like I wrote online to somebody earlier today, like we should all, go back and watch an episode or two of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood every once in a while. Just get a little bit of, inspirational re-cleansing. Yet I digress. But yes, Tom Hanks portrays the beloved TV show host, children's TV show. Well, not even just children's TV show host. I would still regard that as a TV show for everybody. But, yeah, I digress. He portrays Mr. Rogers, y'all. And this goes into the friendship between him and a troubled journalist who's played by Matthew Rhys. And journalist who goes by the name of Lloyd Vogel. And this is based on the friendship between the true life friendship between him and journalist Tom Junod, as he helps Lloyd look at some of his life problems in a more positive light that he didn't really, basically giving him a whole another life view that he didn't know that he could do as a human, as he's trying to write this piece on Mr. Rogers. And just the way that the movie is filmed, it's filmed in such a way that it comes off like an episode of Mr. Rogers, almost in a way that it's meta, that it's like telling a story, almost in a way like in a way that like when Mr. Rogers had those special episodes where he wasn't just like in the house, in his house, in his neighborhood. It was in the episodes where he was out and about, like the special episodes where he was out and about, so where like this goes in. It's like a really fucking detailed episode of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. And it's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's one of the most beautiful, inspirational movies that I've ever seen in my life. Y'all, I didn't even make it to the part where It says TriStar Pictures Presents in the beginning credits before I started crying. Just due to the sentimental, like, value of what had already been presented on screen at that point. This movie is so full of, like, just that heart and soul that, I don't even remember if I said it a couple moments ago or not, but that the world always needs. It doesn't just need it nowadays or whatnot, or just yesterday and not just tomorrow. It needs it all the time to just remind us, you know, to be kind to one another and whatnot. Man, bring tissues to this one. I mean, it'll make you laugh, but it will. I mean, it's a shirt soaker in ways that it makes you laugh, tears of joy, but it'll also make you cry, like tears of just sadness and all types of emotions, and but all, it's a good cleansing movie. Yeah. Something I definitely need to see. Now, Tom Hanks. Everybody's been asking, how is Tom Hanks as Mr. Rogers? And Tom Hanks as Mr. Rogers is perfect. This is not another term for Tom Hanks as Mr. Rogers. Perfect Fred Rogers, y'all. And I did pick up because one of my favorite Tom Hanks movies of all times is The Burbs, so immediately I picked up on the fact that there's a scene in The Burbs while I was watching A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood where Tom Hanks wakes up from a nightmare and he's watching what on TV but Mr. Rogers, and he's even singing along to the lyrics and whatnot. And that was exactly 30 years ago. Coincidence? Possibly. I don't know. But in my honest opinion, I'm Ho. I am H-O. Right now, as of now, this movie pits Joaquin Phoenix, Joker, versus Tom Hanks, Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, Mr. Rogers, versus each other. Best Actor nominations. Those are my top two picks. Official. So that means that Tom Hanks is my next official pick for Best Actor nominee at any upcoming awards ceremonies in the next couple weeks, y'all. Yes. And that's why I hesitated a couple moments ago when I wanted to say that Frozen 2 was the actual family movie of this weekend. No. A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. And the reason I say this is because since Mr. Rogers is no longer with us, even though, yes, we do have access to episodes of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, take your children to go ahead and take them to see, because kids, everybody knows Tom Hanks, y'all. Everybody know in my neighborhood that Tom Hanks this best this around. Sam shit is blessed. You got the whole town locked down. So go ahead and take them to see Mr. Rogers, or excuse me, A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. If you can make it a family double feature, that's cool too. Or perhaps Frozen 2 out of as many showings will be sold out or something. But yo, this is just a different family movie on a different scale. Yeah. It's just such a good overall movie. Just such a blessed movie. Spirit-wise, and I'll most certainly be getting this. Like, I see this like I said, this is a movie that I needed to see at the time. Not to get too deep on my own real shit, but you know, I was having a little bit of a load the couple days when this movie came out, and this seems like the type of movie that if you're having, not necessarily if you're having, like only if you're having a bad day, but if you just need like some uplifting, this is the perfect movie to have on deck. So I can't wait for this movie to drop on 4K so I can have that just to have some uplifting. No matter if I having a bad day or just need that good cleansing. This is that movie for it, y'all. So bring the tissues, shirt soaker, beautiful day in the neighborhood, playing everywhere, y'all. See it immediately. Will not disappoint. Next up on this episode is Real Rush Ticket. Another big drop for this weekend. The new Chadwick Boseman cop thriller, 21 Bridges. As I just stated a couple moments ago, this stars Chadwick Boseman as an NYPD detective who's assigned to the case when two dudes try to rip off some coke. But the robbery, it goes all wrong, man. Something gets fucked up in the exchange, man. Something is not what it seems, man. And in the exchange, the lives of some cops get lost from the dudes involved in the botched robbery. And it's up to Chadwick Boseman's detective character to put the pieces together. Because while it does seem on the surface like a simple robbery gone wrong, there's definitely more beneath the surface than just that. So you got Chadwick Boseman, you got Sienna Miller, you got J.K. Simmons, you got Stephen James, Taylor Kitsch. So pretty good cast. About 99 minutes. This is actually produced by the Russo brothers, so you know them and Chadwick, they know each other from the MCU movies and whatnot. And you know what? This is a pretty decent drama thriller or cop thriller. I did. Where am I trying to go with this? There's a pretty decent twist in it, and I was about to say that I had a little bit of a qualm about that, but as you can see, I hesitated on that. The twist in there is quite well done. Have patience with it though. All is not what it seems, same as with the story. Booyah. But all in all, I wouldn't quite call it like an edge of your seat thriller or anything like that. I would hit this with I'd give 21 Bridges we gonna hit this with a 7. We're gonna hit this with a 7. Booyah. 21 Bridges, y'all. Not something that I would say like many people would be running out to see or anything, but I mean, if Chadwick Boseman's your man, that's number one, because he's holding it down. He's almost got like a Denzel-ish presence about him in this joint, so that's worthy of seeing some 21 Bridges right there, y'all. The morality of 21 Bridges is what I dug the most. The moral conscience of Chadwick Boseman's character. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Because I don't want to give anything away. But yeah, 21 Bridges, y'all. Now playing everywhere. I recommend it. I want to know, this is the one out of all the movies that dropped this week that I want to know what y'all thought about. Nobody ever says, I thought this about a movie. But this is the one that I want to know what y'all thought about. Because this is the one that I recommend, but I don't know if everybody's going to feel the same way that I know about that I feel about it on this one. So, 21 Bridges, if you end up seeing it, let your boy know what you thought about 21 Bridges, and we will converse on it. But yeah, I would recommend seeing 21 Bridges. I would say that it's not enough to be like, well, I would only warrant like a matinee release or a matinee showing of something like 21 Bridges or something like that. Any showing will do. So, boom, go ahead and see 21 Bridges. I once again don't think you'll be disappointed. This one seems like it's gonna strike with some people. It might not strike with other people. Does that make sense? Yeah. It should lead to conversation. And that's what a decent movie should do. Boom. 20 Bridges. Playing everywhere, y'all. Let your boy know what you thought about it. Alright? And we'll converse on this one. And last but most certainly not least on this episode's Real Rush Ticket, new independent film from director Trey Edward Schultz that has also been hotly anticipated for many months as well, and I am talking about Waves. Now Waves as Waves we saw first up on this past Friday's Friday Night Angelica lineup. And Waves is just like the title suggests. Waves of emotions. But let's get into that part in a second. So, Waves, directed by Trey Edward Schultz, who did It Comes at Night from a couple years ago, which also starred Kelvin Harrison Jr., who in this movie plays high school senior, who, seems, be living a really good life. Like, he's a good student, he's a all-star wrestler on the wrestling team, he's got a smoking hot girlfriend, cheerleader, they got a good relationship. He seems to be leading it good off in his senior year, probably going to go off to a good college the next year. Family life seems to be alright. Like, his father, Sterling K. Brown, he helps him train and whatnot for his wrestling and whatnot. He seems to be a little overbearing at times, a little domineering, but he seems to do everything that he seems to do is with good intentions and whatnot. But not to spoil anything in the story here, but something happens along the way that affects Tyler, Kelvin Harrison Jr.'s character. And just the way that it affects him is what starts the chain of reactions, or the waves. And basically it deals with how one deals with guilt or grief or loss or acceptance or mourning or what have you in their own way, and how those come in certain circumstances and how those are dealt with in their own ways. That's the best way that I can explain it. But that being said, it does lead to, like I stated a couple moments ago, waves of emotions, whirlwinds of emotions, so much to the point where there were a couple scenes in it that, I forget what movie I saw a couple weeks ago, that it took me back to a place that I had been in my life at one point. As I may have stated at one point, like, your boy liked to, get down with the drinky drink, up until a couple years ago. Haven't touched this stuff in almost 8 years. It'll be 8 years in February 2020. So, yeah, your boy J-Dub. But anywho, there was a couple scenes in the movie that just took me back to like a certain night that I can still remember, that hit me in such a way that it made me audibly cry in the movie theater. This movie did. And this, as far back as my memory can remember, this is the first movie to make me do that since Southpaw in 2015. And this movie, it's also got like its funny moments, its wholehearted moments, and it is heartwarming at times, but it also is heartbreaking and devastating and heavy at times. But this seems to follow the forte of director Schultz. Familial bonds. And I got that with his last movie, It Comes at Night. I haven't seen his effort, Krisha, but that seems to be along the same lines. But Waves. Wow. I gave it my own damn ovation. And this is one of those tales that no matter what you dealt with in life, like, this should afflict you in some way. So this is another one to bring tissues for y'all. I saw this before A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, and I'm glad that I did, because I needed a beautiful day in the neighborhood after the heaviness of Waves. So aside from Kelvin Harrison Jr. and Sterling K. Brown, you have Taylor Russell from Escape Room. You also have Lucas Hedges showing up in it. Alexa Demi from mid-90s. Just the performances in it are outstanding. The direction of Mr. Schultz, well done, sir. The cinema work, the camera work in it, also excellent. Yeah, Waves. In limited release right now. It's currently playing at the Angelica in the DC metropolitan area. But of course, you want to IMDb, check out Fandango, where this may be playing. This could be a sleeper awards nominee. The music score, very driving, but also worthy to note that it's done by Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross. That's yeah. And they totally add that flavor to the film. So boom, Waves, catch it where you can find it. Be prepared for a hell of an emotional roller coaster. Don't say that your boy J-Dub didn't warn you. Keep clapping, fuck it. Keep clapping, cause that was episode 60, and that means that this is a wrap for episode 60 of The Real Rush right here on YouTube. Ladies and gents, it is at this time, of course, at every episode that... Shit. I ain't even gonna front on what happened right there, man. I was talking so fucking long, the fucking battery died, man. That's what happened, man. So when I went like this, that's when I noticed the red light, it was blinking, man. It was time for me to shut the fuck up because the battery was about to die, man. So I did what I do, and I'm probably gonna stick a fucking please stand by thing right there, man. And that's what happened then, man. So fuck it. I'm only human, man. I'm only human after all. I'm only human after all. Don't put the blame on me. Don't put the blame on me. Oh! So, as I was saying, before the battery died, man, is the next third Friday of the month Bandit Show is coming up in a couple weeks. December 20th, to be exact, 7:30 at the Stagecoach Theater Company in Ashburn, Virginia. Tickets are currently on sale online. $12 online, $15 at the door. Of course, I'm going to recommend that you get your tickets online so that way you're not waiting your ass off in the cold just to possibly not be able to make it in the door in the event that it should sell out. So, we're going to go get your tickets online. Plus, if you go to get your tickets online, I should say before where to go to get your tickets online, is that should you go to get your tickets online and use the promo code John in all caps, that's my name, John, you know, all caps, wear that shit the fuck out, you get yourself a discount. Where can you go to get your tickets online? You can find those online at stagecoachtc.com/stagecoach-bandits. Once again, that is stagecoach, T as in Thomas, C as in coach.com/stagecoach-bandits. Wear that shit the fuck out. All promo code, my promo code, John, my name, ha! John, all caps, wear that shit the fuck out. There you go. Your boy is ready for a couple days off, y'all. I am burned the fuck out. I'm not afraid to admit that shit, Ava. But as we get to that shit, that leads me to say what I'll have reviewed for y'all next weekend. Episode 61 of The Real Rush right here on YouTube. That leads me to say that episode 61 looking to be quite the easy episode. Knock on this wood here. So, Hopefully that way we will keep it that way. But next week, episode 61, I will have a review for you. So we'll have Queen and Slim. Been looking forward to this one for many months. Many months. Ah, that driving ass, that pulsating first trailer that they came out with back in like the spring. Ever since that shit. Yeah. Yeah. So Queen Slim, I had that review for you. And also had the new Todd Haynes film, Dark Waters. Looking pretty devious, or what's the word I look for? Conspirological, little. Conspirological. Fuck y'all, you know what I mean. So yeah, we'll be having those reviews for you. And the cool thing is, happy Thanksgiving, y'all. Thanksgiving, as we know, always falls on a Thursday. So, yeah. Or when I should say. You know, yuff. Or when I should say. Your boy hits the theater this Thursday. Two things should happen when the planets align. This will be not only my third Thanksgiving at the theater in a row, but this will also be the 150th Thursday in a row at the theater. So, maybe be able to get a couple of some special Thanksgiving theater footage. That's a good fucking idea, Jada. Alright. So yeah, that'll be next week, episode 61 of The Real Rush right here on YouTube. But in the meantime, as always, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, any shit like that, feel free, don't hesitate, type them on into this YouTube page where you are viewing this week's episode right here, right now. To everybody who has subscribed to the YouTube channel, The Real Rush, wow, jumbled those words all the fuck up. To everybody who has subscribed to The Real Rush right here on YouTube, thank you for doing so thus far. And if you haven't done so thus far, what the hell are you waiting for? You want to be the first to know when your boy drops a new episode? Don't forget, spread The Real Rush, the word of it, like everybody should be spreading love these days, ladies and gents, especially around the holidays. So, hug a motherfucker, hug a family member, eat some fucking turkey, and tell them about The Real Rush. Because everybody likes movies. Don't forget that The Real Rush also has replay value, y'all. So any movie that's come out over the last year or so that you want to get a review on, you want to know what your boy J-Dub thought about it, all you got to do is go up to the YouTube search bar above, type in quotation marks, The Real Rush, followed by, outside the quotation marks, the name of the movie that you look for, and then boom! Instant movie review on demand for you. Because me and The Real Rush, your boy J-Dub in The Real Rush, we got y'all covered for life, son! And as always, you can follow your boy on Instagram for my live movie check-ins as they occur. And that is at J-Dub Champion, hashtag The Real Rush. And for The Real Rush, ladies and gents, I am your boy J-Dub. Thank you for tuning in to episode 60. Right here on YouTube for The Real Rush. Remember, when you're at the movies, ladies and gents, especially over the next couple days with the holidays coming up and shit, relax for late release. Alright? Let's try to get through it all together. Exercise the patience, especially around, the little ones that aren't yours. Because we all know that the things that piss us off the most at the theater over the holidays are not related to us. It's the surrounding folk. True story. I'm just speaking truth. But hey, be peaceful. Wish peace upon the saints world. Just be patient around everybody, y'all. And keep in mind that since there are more people in the theaters, more than usual over the holidays, that means more than ever, you gotta keep the chatting in the theater and the smartphone use and the smart watches and all that stuff, you gotta put all that stuff away, y'all. Because especially the smartphones, that shit is brighter than you think. So keep the lips shut, put smartphones away, put them on mute, and put the smart watches on dim. I guarantee you that any conversations, any texts, any apps, and even the time, all that shit will be waiting for you after the movie's all said and done, ladies and gents. But in the meantime, do enjoy yourselves at the movies, ladies and gents. Have fun, y'all. Love J-Dub. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. And we'll see you next weekend. Peace. I am Africa, so come on and wind me up. Fuck. I don't know what's going on with me today, man. Everything's just getting all right and shit, man. I should be jumping around naked in my goddamn living room, fucking smoking a joint right now, man.